On this week's episode of the Imagineers Disney podcast, we review Disney's newest live-action film, Mulan. Plus, Christmas is canceled. Not really, but there are some changes that you need to know about Disney World and their holiday plans coming up. So stick around. All that ahead on the Imagineers Disney podcast.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Imagineers Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am joined once again. My good friend and co-host is back after a 1-week hiatus. Hello, Susie. Welcome back. Oh, wait, I muted you, and now you're unmuted. There we go.
Oh, I see how it is. I'm gone for 1 week, and then you don't want to hear my hot takes on Mulan.
Oh, there's going to be some hot takes tonight. So we both watched it yesterday. And we didn't talk a whole lot, but Susie gave me her overall grade, and I'm just like, what?
It's not bad. It's not bad. We'll get to that. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How was your Labor Day?
It was pretty good.
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Did you do anything or just chill?
I did not set an alarm. We had
best.
We had the alarm of a 2.5-year-old. So whenever she woke up, we woke up.
Yeah.
And then we did a little cookout over at some family. And then, came back home for the evening and watched Mulan.
Nice. So. Wow. Cool. Kind of similar here. It was just like my family stayed at my mom's house. We went on a bike ride and we swam and I got a little sunburn. But other than that, no, it was really good. Same thing. I didn't set an alarm, except my brother and sister-in-law brought their dogs over. So their dog, instead of your 2.5-year-old, their 2.5-year-old dog, they have a younger dog. So she was the alarm. But yeah, that was nice just to not do anything over the long weekend. Those are my favorites.
Yes. So we had a great weekend. We hope you guys had a safe holiday weekend as well. So let's get in. Well, before we get in tonight's topic of Mulan, and I know some questions are already coming in about what we thought about it, and we'll get to those here in a little bit. And if you have questions about the movie in general and you just don't care about us talking about it, that's fine. So we're going to try to do non-spoiler, and then we'll go into a kind of some spoiler things, but we will give you advance warning before we get into the nitty of the movie and stuff. So
not that many spoilers, but still things worth going into the movie with an open mind.
Yes.
So you don't want to hear.
But before we do that, there was some news today about Christmas events at Disney World. Pretty much they do not exist.
That was funny.
Is canceled.
Christmas is canceled. The Grinch won. Go home.
Yeah. So there'll still be some Christmas things, I would imagine. I don't know if we're going to do decorations or not, but we do know that I think one of the big things is no dream lights. So if you're unfamiliar with that term, it's like the icicle lights on Cinderella's castle.
This one surprises me. I understand because it's a big lighting deal, but the castle is always a photo op. So I don't understand what the difference is at night, social distancing. Should that still be heavily in play, in November, December versus it being lit up and people still wanting to take pictures? It just must be the sake of not lighting it, like having a ceremony.
Cost saving.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, installing that is a big task because cranes are pretty much in place for a good while they get the lights up on the castle. So there's that, and there's no Christmas parties, so you don't have those big events, and the lighting of those lights during the Christmas party was always such a big deal. So since you're not doing that, what's the point? So, but I enjoy the Christmas decorations.
There still will be elements of Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you guys aren't missing out on everything.
Just like Halloween. Like I'm sure eventually there'll be some sort of fall decorations going up. I don't think they're up yet. I think there was a TikTok that went around this past weekend.
I saw that, and I think they're just behind, or they're doing it a little shorter time period, just because like Halloween parties would be starting, in the next like 2 weeks or so. So there's no need to have them up maybe this soon. But yeah, so things are just going to be like a little bit different. They'll be there, but they'll be in a different way. So if you, like me, love going to Disney Springs and doing the Christmas tree trail, the Christmas trees will still be Christmas trees and decorations at Disney Springs, but they are not going to be like consolidated in one place where it is very crowded. If you've done that before, it is it's really tight, just no possible room for social distancing. So the trees will be placed throughout Disney Springs, and you can see them in that way. So it's a modification, and it's worth it, guys. Like if we just have to like plow through the rest of this year and just like save money and get rid of some of these things to not wear a mask in January. Let's do it.
Don't forget about Candlelight Processional.
I know. I thought you'd bring that one up because that hurts you, I'm sure.
That one hurts. That one hurts a lot. But I mean, that one I was expecting. I wasn't expecting the castle lights.
Neither.
But I was expecting an official announcement about Candlelight Processional. There's no way you can do it. I mean, you have 250, 300 people in a choir, from like high schools and church choirs and
orchestras.
There's no way you can distance yourselves and make that work and make it worth it. Plus,
make it profitable, because you wouldn't be able to have like half of the audience either, and all those people standing in the standby line, like that would be impossible.
And not all the restaurants in World Showcase are open.
Yeah.
So that cuts into the candlelight dining package that they typically have for this event. So yeah, I mean, there's just no way. So I am sure it will come back better than ever next year. Cross your fingers. So, but
yeah, it'll be back, guys. Don't worry. We just have to, I don't know. We have to deal with it. Like, this is not a small thing. It's not, I mean, I know it hurts everyone in some way or another, but it's inconvenient to everybody. So let's just try to make it as, instead of inconvenient for a long time, compress all the inconvenience and just get it out of the way and get going and feeling good again. So,
and I'm actually doing my first park visit this coming Friday.
Oh yeah.
I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness you weren't there this past weekend though.
Yeah. This past weekend was nuts.
Universal too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm going to Hollywood Studios this Friday, and I'm going to do my best to get on a boarding group. So, but yeah, I'm curious to experience a park for the first time with the social distancing and the masks requirements. So,
and this is a good time to go. It's technically a weekday.
Right.
A holiday just happened, so you shouldn't be too busy. So I hope you get a boarding pass. Yeah,
I would hope so. Yes. So, and
too hard.
If anyone listening is going to be down there that weekend, I would love to say hello. In fact, why don't we just do this?
Okay.
The first person that can find me, I will have something for you. How about that?
Okay. Cool.
So the question is, how do you find me? Trying to think. I will wear my Big Al t-shirt. So I'll probably be the only one in Hollywood Studios wearing a Big Al.
Or on property.
Well, I actually saw somebody on Twitter the other day who had the same shirt. So there.
Okay. So there's two of you guys. Cool.
Yeah, we're the fan club. So, yeah, we are going to get into our review of Mulan. We are going to have differing opinions.
No, okay.
because
Stop hyping it up. That is not completely accurate.
Because I can see the value in things, like the Country Bear Jamboree and Big Al.
Country bears.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god!
So let's get into it. Let's
get into
talk
it.
about Mulan.
Yes, let's talk about Mulan. All right.
Here we go.
Finally, we get to see Mulan. It took forever.
Yes. Should we just start with the controversy? I mean, just get that out of the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do want to say something, and we do our best. We don't get into political things. I don't like doing it. I think I don't like alienating people. But as someone who is a creative person and does creative work, and I've worked on a movie, I've worked on a film set, I feel like my perspective. So the lead actress in Mulan, a year ago. So this was a year ago.
Gosh, I can't believe it's
made some statements about the Hong Kong protest in favor of the police that were abusing power and really cracking down hard on the protesters out there. And again, don't want to make any political statements, but a lot of people were very, very upset with what she said. And for the past year, they've wanted boycotts for the movie.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's fine. You can have that opinion, and you can have the opposite opinion too. I make it a point. I think you have to be able to separate art from artist. By the time this had happened, they had wrapped filming. I mean, they filmed it way before that.
What are they supposed to do? And by the way, this wouldn't be the first time that an actress or an actor has said something controversial from any side of any political spectrum. Everyone has watched something with a actor or actress who has opinions they disagree with.
Yeah, you have people on different ends of the spectrum. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg, for instance, leans left, and then James Woods leans right. And they
got two Disney villains.
Two people with very differing opinions. And but again, I go back. You have to be able to separate art from artist.
Yeah.
And because this movie was more than just one person. It was a collaborative effort of camera crew and directors and producers, audio technicians, makeup, lighting, just all of that. And it's different if the message of the movie is offensive, I think. But taking the comments of one person as bad as they are, and then totally writing off a movie that they were in, I think is just a little, it's a little too much for me.
And there's varying degrees of what if there's something that is very firm, in your life and you don't want to see that. I understand she's coming from a different, experience in life than we are. She is Chinese. We are not. Whether you agree with her statements or not, that's up to you. Or you can go to the movie blind and you just don't Google it and don't worry. But there's something to be said that arts, sports, just different arenas need to be able to experience, not politically, where we can come together and agree on things no matter what outside of the movie theater we think. And so we try to do that when we do our show in general, understanding that our listeners have a wide variety of backgrounds and beliefs and experiences. So let's come here and we can talk in a safe environment and not talk about those things because it's permeated every other part of our life. And sometimes it's nice to get away from it and just have a good time. So I think that's what we did. And that's what we're going to do the rest of the evening.
And I think my takeaway from this movie is that it was a positive movie. Like the message, I like the message of the movie. I think they did a great job. I think it's one of the better live action remakes out of the ones that they have done.
Yeah,
we'll get into some more detail, but yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Like, really, really liked it. I went in with expectations just kind of neutral. I didn't want to get my hopes up about anything, but yeah, I left really, liking the movie. So,
See, I went in with very high expectations, and that was my mistake. The trailers were just so moving, and Mulan is so powerful, and understanding that they are rooting a lot of the elements in this movie in more Chinese legend, Chinese culture, elements that we didn't really see in the first Mulan, which is fine because it's a cartoon. It's a musical. It's more silly, but this one took a very distinct turn and was more accurate to the actual Legend of Mulan, which is real. And so I like that. I think I'm tired of the shot for shot, line for line remakes of Lion King. What's the other one that was? I thought Beauty and the Beast was a little close in some areas. Some of the dialogue was too close, and the fact that this had no music, it had no Mushu, I think that actually played into it a little, made it better than if they had tried to even make it more serious and then try to add these other things, because it doesn't mix. So it was a very distinct take on the Legend of Mulan, and it stands, in my opinion, apart from the animated pretty strongly.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, it is a different experience, but what I really liked about, I thought it was balanced. Like, there was, this is an action movie.
It's a very action movie.
I mean, Mulan has the highest kill count, I think, of any Disney character ever.
That's fair.
So there's lots of action. There is a nice balance of humor, because there are some humorous moments that they kept with the movie from the animated. So so
there's hits of the animated. We'll talk a little bit more about some of those later, but even in the dialogue, there's little lines from song lyrics that they incorporate into the dialogue very smoothly. It's pretty subtle. If you don't know the songs word for word, you may not catch it just because it fits so naturally into what the character is saying, which is good. They know they know people know Mulan. So you don't want to completely abandon that.
Let's talk about music real quick. So music. So actually, one of the questions we had was, do they have music from the original Mulan? And the short answer to that is yes. So there are no lyrics for any of the songs. It is all underscore, but they underscore the iconic songs from the animated film.
Yeah.
So
it's beautiful.
The Matchmaker song.
Yeah. Reflection.
And then I'll Make a Man Out of You. And
then so some of those lyrics are spoken, and then some of the lyrics to A Girl Worth Fighting For are also spoken at some point in the movie by characters, which is really clever.
A Girl Worth Fighting For, I think, was one of the most enjoyable, because the lyrics to the song became dialogue, and the way that they interacted with each other was fun. The characters there, they kept some of the characters' names. I'll say this one, I don't think it falls under spoiler, but you don't have Mushu, of course. You have a different being,
spirit guide,
Phoenix.
I mean, that was in the marketing. I don't think that
Phoenix was in the marketing, and we'll talk more about that later. But so one of the characters from the animated movie that was an animal became a human being in the new one, and
it's my favorite.
Cricket.
Oh, I would have given my arm for Cricket.
Cricket,
so precious.
Cricket is an actual human being in the movie, and his character is great. So,
to clarify, there is not a Cricket that gets turned into a human. They used the name. He's named Cricket, which is obviously a nod to the cricket from the animated.
Yes. Okay. He was born under an auspicious moon.
Yeah. Oh, he's so cute.
Lucky.
Yeah.
And actually, one of my favorite moments in the movie is actually with Cricket. And it involves a bow and arrow, and it's pretty cool. I don't know if you caught it or not. Let's just say he has some mad skills.
Oh, that part. Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, whoa, look at that.
He's lucky.
Yeah. Another thing I really loved. I loved the father-daughter dynamic
Yeah.
in this movie. So that was really heavy in the original, and they kept that. I'm glad they kept it. They made it a little different, and I like that they didn't completely copy all the dialogue from the first movie. The father figure, has his own ways of telling Mulan how much he loves her and what she means to him, and it's really nice. Like it's really nice. So
I'll give a criticism here. This is not a spoiler because it is seen in the trailer. It's in the marketing. Family dynamic. I don't understand why they gave Mulan a sister. I don't
well,
try to look up like is that related to something, but they keep saying like only child, like from what I could gather from some of the original Mulan storytelling. So I'm a
one
little
of the stories he did have a brother, and in fact, in the animated film,
Mhm,
little brother, the dog,
mhm.
was a reference to that.
Oh, okay.
So having a sibling doesn't really bother
No,
me that much.
the sister, I guess to give a because they have very different personalities. But I don't know. I loved the grandmother from the original. I would have liked to see something like that, which also speaks to um Asian culture and respecting your elders and having them, live with you and things like that. So I liked her, and of course she's so feisty in the original. I just felt like the sister was a little bit of a waste. Although there are more female to female interactions in this Mulan. There's more female characters. I guess like maybe wanting to add that to show the differences and the different paths that the women could take.
Yeah. Um, that's fair. I didn't really have a problem with
I
the
don't have a
second
problem.
character.
She just seemed kind of like just there.
Maybe it's because of the spider. I don't know.
I did not like how they did the matchmaker part.
Yeah.
It was completely the sister's fault. It had nothing to do with Mulan. Whatever. Go watch it. Also, not a spoiler because if you've seen the original, obviously you know the matchmaking doesn't go well.
No, it does not. Trying to think. What else can we talk about that isn't spoiler related?
Well,
You kind of referenced a little bit. So culture things.
Yeah.
So, and I actually do want to do a little bit deeper dive post show, but just in my own personal time, just wondering the reasons why they changed some things in the movie. One of the things I was really curious about is the village. So in the animated film, Mulan and her family live kind of off on this. It's like it's family land.
Yeah.
Like they have their own shrine to
it's
their
very
ancestors.
their property.
It is their property. In this movie, they actually live almost like
Apartments.
Yeah, they're like apartments.
Multifamily. Yeah, it's a
multifamily like circle.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's not just they live there. That's like where the matchmaker is, it's where the market is. It's all very like enclosed in one area. I don't know about that, but we were also talking yesterday. They changed Mulan's last name, which was spoken before, when you're giving your full name before your first name. So she's Fa Mulan in the Disney, and then in this one she's Hua, Hua. So if you don't have the captions on, or you just don't really know, you may not catch that or notice it. But it's definitely a different word. That was an interesting decision to change, which I think is just maybe speaking more to the impact they wanted this movie to have, which was very family focused.
Right. Yep. They're very, very family focused, and yeah. So I think you can actually do some very interesting study on Chinese culture based on some of the decisions that they made to change some certain things.
Oh, and beautiful. The movie was gorgeous.
Oh man, like cinematography was absolutely fantastic. The locations that they shot in were beautiful. The shots were well thought out and put together, and I think that it really did help with the pacing of the movie.
It was so good. The
at
guys
no point did I ever
miss the songs.
Right, yeah, you don't miss the songs, and at no point did I like look at my watch and be like, "How long is this movie been going?" Because that does happen. Like that even happens to me, like in Marvel movies, because they're so long and like.
Well, Endgame is the only one that to me didn't feel long, just because it punches you constantly until about the last like 30% when I had to pee, but I wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
But no, this movie is under 2 hours, which is rare for a live action movie. It's rare in general. I feel like when we were watching like Onward, even earlier this year for our Friday night movie watch, I felt like, okay, this is kind of a long animated movie. No, Mulan's pacing is great, which is why I don't feel like songs would have added anything.
Right.
Anything that they filled in the spaces where the songs would have been was very story and character development driven. It didn't feel like a filler scene. If you asked me to like take 15 minutes out of this movie, I don't know where I would have done it. That I give them was very good. I love the live action Aladdin, but I even think like that was too long, and there's things that I could have cut. Like they were just adding things to look different. This one, because it was so different, there wasn't like, how can we do this differently? It was like we didn't have that at all. We replaced it with something new, and what was new fit seamlessly. So yeah, that was very good. I was very happy with that.
Yep. We do have a question. I think we can address this. Chris says her father in original stories was a sword master, I believe. Maybe wrong. Did they do any more background on her father in this movie?
Yes, because he
a little bit
had fought with the man who trained her regiment, Garrison,
yes,
who actually is the same actor who plays Chirrut in Rogue One, who is a very famous Chinese actor.
Donnie Yen is Commander Tung in the movie. And so Donnie Yen and I just forget his name, Jet Li is the Emperor. And they have some great action sequences. And we'll go into a little bit more detail in a second when we go into spoilers, because I think one of the big changes that they made is spoiler territory, and kind of.
I think so. I think knowing that ahead of time skewed my view a little, so I wouldn't want people to know.
Okay. So yeah, we'll hold that off in a minute. But yeah, Donnie Yen is awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. But he knew Mulan's father and fought with him. And there is a scene actually after Mulan's father gets the orders to march off to war. He is actually messing with his armor, and then he actually pulls out his sword and starts sharpening it. And they talk about the blade a little bit. So yeah, they do a little bit more detail like that for his past.
Yeah, that sword is very significant to the family and to Mulan. So I feel like his experience with that item, and then she takes it, of course, with her in the battle, plays into her character and into a little bit of the spoiler, because there's something written on that sword that is pretty important. So if you guys want to
talk about that in a minute too, we'll talk about that in a minute too. But yes, the sword is very important to the overall plot and message of the movie. So yes. Okay.
Anything else? Spoiler free. I guess we can get into it, but I want to say everyone was like upset that there wasn't like a love interest, just because it wasn't the original love interest. Maybe you guys thought from the original. I guess we can get to that in a little bit in the spoiler, but no spoiler saying this. That entire subplot line is not missed either. I don't think it was.
Oh, the love story thing? Yeah. Oh, I mean, there kind of is.
A little, but it's not. I don't know. I mean,
there definitely is a love interest, especially at the end of the movie.
It's different than the original, and I'm saying I didn't necessarily miss the original way that they did it. I liked this one too. They're different, and it was good.
Yep.
I don't want to spoil that.
Okay, so I think we've kind of hit all of the non-spoiler things. We've danced around some of those for a little bit.
Okay,
so
bye.
We're going to start talking about the nitty-gritty of the movie here in just a few seconds. So fast forward 10, 15 minutes, and hopefully we'll be done by then. So 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Where do we start?
I think you had to start with the biggest change, in my opinion, in this movie compared with the other, and that would be the addition of Chi.
And this, for me, is actually, I loved this. I think it was an interesting, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
I think that, it was an interesting plot point, and like, it got the story off the ground a little bit and helped develop it some. So Susie, this is where Susie disagrees with
me. I did not like the chi. I understand the chi and makes it very distinct from the original. So like we'll explain. Everyone has, so think of it like Star Wars. Everyone has the Force. Everyone has chi in Mulan, and the only people who can like access and harness it and actually use it in battle are men, not women. But
they can't.
It's frowned upon.
Society will not allow you to. It is
a witch, and you get outcast. Yeah, you have to keep that conceal, don't feel, Elsa style to yourself, which is interesting because it's another element of secret that Mulan has to carry. Where I don't like it is, yes, she trains and, you know, she's working hard and all these other things. I just get a little weary when everything that is special about Mulan is something that she couldn't control. And it's the chi that she was born with. I think you have to be careful that it's not just like, oh, well, you're not special, you don't have chi, well, too bad. Like, everyone is special, everyone can contribute. And you see that throughout the movie. There's other characters who, like, even the guys who aren't like warriors, the chi fighting is very unrealistic, but I have no
okay, all right.
Chinese.
I have to interject.
Okay.
If you guys are fans of movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
which I've never seen, and so I get the nod to it, but just
I loved it. Like, it's unnatural. So it is unnatural ability.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that.
They did such a great job. Like, I love this, and that is really where like Donnie Yen and Jet Li come into play, because both of them have some awesome scenes with that as well.
I just still I'm still conflicted, because you think the original Mulan, here's where there's a scene, and it's after, very similar to the original, where she causes an avalanche. It's not the Huns, by the way. It's I can't remember what they're called. It's other. Yeah, so the Hun, but it's bad guys, y'all. But so she covers them in the avalanche, and then it's revealed that she's a woman. And then she comes back to the camp to tell them, like, hey, like, Emperor's in danger, you know, we got to go. And it's not so much, here's the impression I was given, and I could be wrong. All the guys in the camp were like, I believe Mulan, which is very, you know, considering that she has this ability that she's not really supposed to show. But no one in any high level command seemed to believe her, because of what she said and because of her character. I think they only weighed what she said as important was because, well, she has chi. Like, she's got this really, and I was just like, oh, okay. Because no one said, Mulan saved my life. Mulan saved all of us. It was, she's got chi. And I was like,
no.
Okay.
I'm going to disagree. Because of this. Because there is something else besides the chi that Mulan possesses. Mm-hmm. And I think they make a point of it in the movie. And that is that she has the virtues,
which help
the virtues which are on the sword, loyalty, bravery, loyal, brave, and true. That is what's stamped on the blade. And in addition to having the natural chi and an elevated chi, she has all three of those things. And I think that comes into play with that scene at the end where, they're potentially going to kill her. She did risk her life to come back. Mm-hmm. And I think it's not only because of the chi, mm-hmm. but because of her character. Mm-hmm. Like her actual character as a person.
I see that. I need to watch it again, because I just don't want it to rely too heavily on the chi. There is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I have to spoil this. So there is a witch on the other side. She's a woman who is mastered, her chi, and she was expelled from her village and her family. She was given dishonor, and then she, works for the bad guys. And
she is the mirror of Mulan.
She has really cool abilities, but yeah, it's literally like yin and yang. So they come from the same idea, but one of them ultimately is given honor and respect, and the other one didn't. And I have another issue with her in a little bit we can get to, but there's a scene where Mulan has kind of chased her down in the canyon. This is honestly probably my second favorite scene in the whole movie. My favorite, we'll get to in a minute. You know what it is.
Yeah.
But there's a scene and the witch is like, "Who are you?" And she says who she is, which isn't really who she is. It's the male name that she's been going under, and lying is blocking her chi from flowing, which I understand. I like other shows like Avatar, The Last Airbender, where that same kind of idea where like you can block your full potential with things like that. And then
not being truthful. So
yes, so she's not doing all those three things from the sword.
Right.
But she throws a throwing star at her, and it hits Mulan right in the chest. This is, I'm telling you, I was really excited. I thought this was cool. And it looks like she died because like she falls over, and then the witch leaves, and then Mulan gets up, and you can see that the star, so Mulan has wrapped herself, obviously because she's a woman, she needs her figure to look differently. Like a man, she's wrapped herself in like a leather brace, from like her armpits to her waist. And the throwing star gets stuck in that brace. And I thought that was brilliant because that woke her up being like, this is the thing you're lying about. This is what's holding you back from reaching your potential. This is who you really are. You need to take that off so it can be revealed. I really liked that. I thought that was very clever, very heavily there's just like a lot of symbolism in that scene. I loved that. I don't not like the chi. I get the chi. I respect it. I just am always a little critical of things that can be explained in one sentence. Like, oh, she has chi.
Well, okay. It's not that she has chi.
I know, but she uses it in such a way, and she's flowing from her good qualities. I know.
Again. So I guess in Chinese culture, chi is only reserved for the use of chi is only reserved for warriors, males. So as a young person, some of the first things you see in the movie is her kind of, in fact, the narrator, her father, talks about her just being a green shoot.
Yeah.
It is raw, untapped potential.
Mm-hmm. And
she eventually is told by her father that she has to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
Conceal, don't feel. But then she bucks that and becomes her true self.
Mm-hmm.
And, becomes the hero of the story because of it. But it's interesting seeing her because she does have the natural ability, but she has to work at it.
Yes.
There are like the training scenes, like she gets beat a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And of course she turns around and, kicks what's his name's butt.
It's not, I liked it. It was different. I'm just not used. I don't know. I don't know. I liked it. I thought if they were to do it, they did it well. I wouldn't have initially thought that because the original Mulan relies very heavily on just who she is. I know this one does too, but there is a supernatural element. The first one doesn't really have that. There's like Mushu, but like whatever. But within Mulan, everything she has to do, she has to dig within herself. And this one, it's everything digs within itself to channel this extra supernatural like ability. So that's different. It's good. It's done well. I'm just not sure it's my favorite thing ever.
Okay, that's fair. I enjoyed it as a plot point. I think it helped drive the story because it gave it meaning.
True.
So
yeah,
yeah. The witch was an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really interesting scene. They literally had a join me and together we will rule the galaxy.
Do you see why I'm getting like now? I will say this: a little bit of the chi was spoiled for me because people were comparing it to The Rise of Skywalker, and I was like,
I didn't really see it that much, but whatever.
That line, I was like, this scene is literally a copy and paste from The Last Jedi, where she's like, join me, and she's like, then Mulan's like, it's not too late, and then the witch is like, yes, it is, but then it's not. Then the witch ultimately sacrifices herself for Mulan and for the cause, which is another thing that I'm just tired of villains dying.
You're tired of villains dying?
Yes. She does something good and then she dies.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. It's like she's
Oh,
again.
okay.
It's
See, like,
PSD for the
when you
right.
said villain, I thought you meant Bori Khan, which is
Oh
the
no, I
enemy.
don't mind him dying. He sucked.
I don't really see the witch as well.
But it's like you do one good thing to redeem yourself and then you die.
Sound familiar?
Yes. Why do you think I didn't like that? I
Uh,
get it. I get it. And she has this really cool ability to like turn into a bird. So it's a very dramatic scene. It's
Talon hands.
it's
That's
well
pretty
done.
cool.
It's well done. If they had asked me, "Do you want this in the movie, Susie?" I would have been like, "Oh no, thank you." But they didn't, so it's okay.
Yep. All right. So real quick, let's finish a couple of things.
Mhm.
So probably, I think both of our favorite moments of the movie, because we're Disney nerds. Ming Na Wen, the voice of the animated Mulan, makes an appearance in the movie. I won't say what we won't say exactly what it is, but
If you know your Disney stuff, you won't miss it.
yes. So, but she does make an appearance in the movie, and it was easily one. I was like, oh, there she is.
I was so happy. I got like goosebumps. Like I was very moved.
Pretty cool.
So, she's not just Mulan, though. We have to point out she is a Disney legend. She's also been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she's Fennec Shan from
Street Fighter.
So she's got a lot of Disney credits to her name. So she's a big deal. That was really cool to see. Of course, and even we won't ruin it, but when you see her, there are nods to what she's wearing to the animated character Mulan. So look out for that because she looks so pretty. Oh, it's so
yeah. My other favorite thing, and again, the sword is a big plot point. And again, the message of the virtues, loyal, brave, true. And at the end, the emperor, you have saved all of China. Now I want to honor you by inviting you to be part of my royal guard, like an officer in the guard. So huge honor. And she declines it. And she says,
this was good.
I left my family in the middle of the night and betrayed their trust. And then I went to battle and I learned and knew about these virtues, being loyal, brave, and true. I have to go back to my family and make amends. And the emperor agrees and lets her. And he says, what do you say? Loyalty to family? Devotion to family. Devotion
to family. Yeah. So then at the end, she's presented a new sword because she loses her father's sword, and it has the same 3 traits written on one side, and on the back side is a 4th trait, and it is the
devotion to
family. So that was great. I thought that was a
great message, great into the movie.
Yes.
Fantastic.
That sums up Mulan's character. This is it for me. That sums up Mulan's character more than any amount of Chi could. So that shone through her character more, and I liked that. Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. Overall I loved it. Like I thought it was great. We're done with spoilers. We're done talking spoilers. Let's because this is not spoiler territory. Spoiler territory.
Okay.
Let's talk about where does this fall in the rankings of Disney's recent trend of live action remakes of their animated classics.
This is hard because I'm sorry, I don't want to watch some of them, like the live action Pete's Dragon. I don't want to see the Johnny Depp Alice in Wonderland. There's not a bone in my body that is aching to see that.
Actually, Alice in Wonderland was actually really good. But
I don't know. Also, I'm going to say this and upset some people. I don't have a lot of interest in seeing Maleficent. I just haven't. So there's those I haven't seen, but the very clear, like Dumbo, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella,
Dumbo was
Lion King.
Dumbo, in my opinion, I think may be the worst one.
But those where it's like very clear, like it's the exact same name. It's almost not Dumbo, but it's very heavily leaning on the original plot. For me, Mulan is probably in the top 25%.
Yeah. I would put Mulan in the top 5.
Oh, yeah, I think that's definitely fair.
My ranking, I still think The Jungle Book is the best one. It is so good.
Yeah.
I think Jungle Book, I think my opinion has changed over. I've let some of these most recent ones kind of sink in and kind of fall into the place that I think they belong in. But Jungle Book, I think Cinderella.
Oh, Cinderella's beautiful.
I think Cinderella is
they really added to the story. Cinderella is a good one.
And then, it's tough for me next with a third one because.
Well, do you consider things like Mary Poppins Returns? I mean, that's a different movie.
No.
It's like redoing a character. Okay. I didn't think so. Guys, I don't know if it's number 3, but I really enjoyed Aladdin, and I think
Aladdin. I think maybe my number 3, and I think Mulan. Mulan is maybe. I'm trying to flip between Mulan and Aladdin.
Yeah.
And then I think The Lion King, and then
just because we're running out of ones that are considered acceptable. Oh, Beauty and the Beast. I didn't mind Beauty and the Beast.
I put Beauty and the Beast underneath Lion King.
I would have it ahead of Lion King, and I loved. Maybe I didn't. I don't know how I felt about Lion King still.
So yeah, it is. I think it was a good one. Like this was a solid movie. I think they bring in. I think they've learned their lesson maybe in the mistakes they've made in some of the most recent ones, like The Lion King.
Stop.
The Lion King was too much of a carbon copy.
Now, I disagreed with the idea that the lions needed to have more emotion because that's the exact same way the animals were in Jungle Book. So I don't think that's a fair criticism. I think if Lion King had come out a year sooner, people would have liked it more, but we're all tired of the remake. So I thought Lion King was beautiful, but the substance was just right. It's a carbon.
Lion King was visually stunning.
And I think that was actually, I think they may have gotten too caught up in can we do it rather than should we do this?
Right. Because every single frame of that movie, except for one, was all digitally done. Yeah. And little trivia for you. Do you know what one shot wasn't? Digital.
Is it at the beginning with the trees?
It's the sunrise.
Okay. Yeah.
The sunrise is the only thing that is not computer generated out of that movie. Everything else was.
I mean, that's a feat. So the princess movies seem to be among our top 5.
Yeah. I'd say so. Even though Mulan isn't a princess, but
no, but I mean, like, let's be honest. She's not a princess, but like she's everywhere. Like she's with all the princess like marketing and merchandise. So for lack of a better phrase, she's a Disney princess, but she's not. Any other questions? I want to.
Actually,
I really let my feelings go. I'm okay with the chi. I need to talk that out, guys.
We actually lost quite a few people after we started talking about the spoilers. And
that's good. Well, no, that's good.
We knew that was going to happen. So
go watch it yourself. Make up your mind. Like, I don't think anything we said before. Look, I knew about the chi before, and I think it changed how I saw the movie, which is why I want to go see it again. Now that I'm like, I don't mind it because now I know what it's actually like. So I think it's good that people don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. So. If you are coming in late to this, go watch Mulan and then come back and listen to this.
That's to spoil again. Whatever.
The episode. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, no new questions that I can see. So,
okay, go watch it for yourself, guys.
For sure,
it's worth it.
Well, I think that is going to do it for tonight's episode. So, thank you guys for listening. as always, you can find us on social media. We are the Imagineers Disney Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all those social media platforms. Come interact with us. We're on Discord as well, where we hold our Friday night movies. We will not be having a Friday night movie this week.
Oh, you're gone.
Because I'm gone. Because I'm going to be in Disney World. Now, well, I don't know.
Watch Country Bears again.
Susie, do you want to host a movie?
Oh dear. I don't know. What do you guys want to watch? Tell me what you want to watch and we'll see if we can get it done.
So yeah, just because I'm gone doesn't mean that you guys can't have fun. So
what do we want to watch? I don't know.
We'll decide that.
We actually watched animated Mulan, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so let's not do that one again. But yeah, you guys, how about no, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna say it anyway. There's a lot of non-Disney things on Disney Plus since Disney's purchased it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to break tradition and do something different? I don't know. Let me know. Let me see. I'll make up my mind. Let's see how I'm feeling.
Decisions will be made in the next couple of days. So we'll
let you know
about that. And then the next week, I think we're doing the music night. So we're breaking tradition a little bit again. We've had some people request that instead of a movie, we kind of have a DJ request.
Yeah.
So DJ Rex will be
love that
playing your favorite Disney song. So you can come into our Discord chat, request what you want to listen to, and we'll do that for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Let's see. What we do have some recommendations. Christoph wants to watch The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, I think we need to do that with Matt.
You can do it without me. Like, it's fine. Yeah.
Maybe.
If you guys want to watch The Mighty Ducks, we can.
I haven't seen that in a very long time.
So, we have another comment. Jarrett says, just want to say I've been listening to your podcast for a while, and it honestly makes my day. Jarrett, thanks. Thanks a lot.
My day.
Yay.
That was a rough day, I gotta say. That was great to see. That's life.
Yeah. Oh, and then Christoph says Simpsons movie from Disney Choice.
Thumbs down. I was hoping someone would suggest not that. No.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll figure that out. And then so like Jarrett just commented, like we just really love interacting with you guys. We enjoy doing this. It's one of the highlights of our week. And we just sincerely appreciate everyone who watches our live show on Tuesday nights or comes back and actually listens to the podcast throughout the week. And speaking of, you can find us on all of the major podcast platforms. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If there's a podcast app that you like to do, you can typically find us there as well. So thank you, everyone, as always, for listening. And we'll be back next week for another great episode. And until then, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.